So in response to the query about whether I'd finished wiring up the bike with the original loom I could have got one from the old tractor from Greg over in America, but it was going to cost $750, so I thought I'd try my hand at this one just to see whether I could get it to work. Once I'd put it all in, I eventually took it down and I also had to what did I have to do? I had to check to see whether my wiring for the coils and the electronic ignition was okay, so I had that checked by a guy who actually knows what he's doing. Anyway, look, a couple of things I did wrong. I originally had this main part of the loom on the wrong side of the backbone of the frame, but all of this other stuff seems to be all good now. Half the stuff that I actually just guessed where it should go is fine, like having this plate bolted here and that plugged in. I've got up here I've got a different type of starter motor than what was standard, because the original one was absolutely stuffed, and so I went with and it's plastic. This part of it is plastic, which is where the throttle goes. I ended up getting one off an 850 Le Mans, which is metal, and no other switches on it, and I've just got my starter button up here, which I got from Western Australia, and that all runs. That's all wired in now. So the other problem I had was with all the indicator lights up here are all good. That's all been wired up and they're all put in place. Everything else is working fine. The hazard alarm, which is here, that's fine too. Headlights and all that sort of stuff's okay. So down here, oops, sorry, not much space here. So all the wiring for the master cylinders, the master cylinders and that are there. Indicator or flasher cam there. This is under here is where your let's see if I can get a better picture of that. This is where your fuse box is. Okay. I think on this side that's just about all there is to show. So I'll go across to the other side. Okay, so over here I've got these 5 ohm coils which replaced the 3 ohm coils that were on the bike, and that's because the electronic ignition system, a Dyna 2 I think it is, needed higher rated coils, because the original ones were getting too hot. I've got them mounted more or less where the original coils were, except I had to make this frame just to fit them on there. Rectifier is here. That's where it's supposed to go. There's that bracket at the back there, and that's the management system for the electronic ignition, which is hard to find a place for, but that's where it is. Down here is I had to put the relay for the starter down here on the end of this bar, because otherwise I couldn't fit. I don't know where it's supposed to have been in the beginning. Someone had it, the guy that was checking this out for me had it bolted to there, but I couldn't fit my tool tray and stuff in, so I had to move it down. Apart from that, I think everything's more or less how it should be. I've just had to have the starter rebuilt, and so that's all good. I've got, even though I've got a full fairing for this, and I wanted to just get it registered, and so I've put some temporary indicators on here using the original wiring, but I just made a bracket up so I could get it registered, and then I'll try to fiddle around with the fairing and that later. I've got all the fixtures for it. It's just that the paint job on it, there was something wrong with the clear coat on top, which turned a bit wonky, so that has to be redone, like parts of the other parts of the frame paint. The other parts of the paint job on the bike. So I think that's probably it. The battery that I was is now available is much smaller than the original ones, but I was told that you can just get one from you know, right on mower or anything you like can go in there with low cranking amps for cold weather. That's what you've got to really make sure you've got. So all the wiring for the indicators, brake light and everything is all comes up here. There's underneath there is the reservoir, the wiring for the this particular brake junction, but everything else is more or less how it is meant to be, because it runs, which is all we really want, isn't it? Alright, thank you for that. I hope this is helpful. I'll just give you a pan out of the whole lot.